This week I was invited to participate in a community-wide memorial for Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, alav shalom. The virtual gathering was convened by the UJA, and rabbis from many streams of Jewish life across the city were invited to participate. And I'd like to share with you some of the words that I shared on behalf of the congregation as we remember this great teacher, this great humanitarian, this great representative of the Jewish people. Rabbi Jonathan Sacks was not a pluralist in that he did not believe all religions were equally valid, or that all streams of Jewish life, for that matter, were equally valid. But he was a staunch pluralist in that he believed all religions had something admirable to contribute to humanity. And he believed that every Jew, faithful or not, halachically observant or not, every one of us has a role to play in the unfolding of Jewish history. Moreover, Rabbi Sacks was a pluralist in that he believed and he taught that Torah wisdom had something essential to teach every Jew and every human being. In his book, The Dignity of Difference, Rabbi Sacks teaches a message that the world desperately needs to hear today. He wrote, "One belief more than any other is responsible for the slaughter of individuals on the altars of the great historical ideals. It is the belief that those who do not share my faith or my race or my ideology do not share my humanity." He was a master teacher with the rare ability to help his students to see the forest and the trees. I'll share one example from last Shabbat, Parashat Vayera, because Rabbi Sacks died on Shabbat Vayera. I also share it with you now, thinking of little Seth, who received his Hebrew name today and was welcomed into the congregation and the covenant. Rabbi Sacks' teaching speaks to how parents make way for their children. He drew from the drama of the Akedah, the binding of Isaac, the pivotal message that children are not the property of their parents. In the ancient Middle East and still in some parts of the world today, children belong to their parents, and therefore they are perceived to be created only in the image of their parents. Your father was a shepherd on this patch of land, and so you will be a shepherd on this patch of land. Not so, according to the Akedah. The angel stayed Abraham's knife in order that the value of the individual could emerge. Isaac was not only the son of Abraham and Sarah, he was the son of God, created in the image of God, and therefore needed to be able to write his own story, become his own person, become an agent of morality. And eventually he would also become the ancestor of you and me. Rabbi Sacks teaches us, as long as parents believed they owned their children, the concept of the individual could not yet be born. The Torah represents the birth of the individual as the central figure in the moral life. Family is an essential unit, but the individual is the central figure of the moral life. Because all children belong to God, parenthood is not ownership, but guardianship. As soon as they reach the age of maturity, children become independent moral agents with their own dignity and freedom. So it is with so many of Rabbi Sacks' teachings, and tomorrow at 9 o'clock, if you wish to join me for Torah study, we'll look at what Rabbi Sacks has to teach about this week's Parsha, Chayei Sarah. He returns to the core belief that God has given every human being a chance at a life of meaning, a chance even at eternity, if only we rise to the occasion of carrying out our God-given moral responsibilities. The Torah of Rabbi Jonathan Sacks was at once particular and universal, rigorous and relevant, elevating and always eloquent, timeless and timely. He drew us in and made us thirsty for more. So what is the bracha that we recite when encountering a great teacher of Torah? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shechalak mechochmato lire'av. Praised are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who has imparted a measure of your wisdom to those who revere you. Amen. Zichrono livracha, may Rabbi Jonathan Sacks's memory be a blessing to the Jewish people and all humanity. We turn to conclude our service now. Page 139, let's stand together, Aleinu l'shabeach.